Welcome to Real People, Real Voices. I'm your host, James Jackson.
And I'm your co-host, Pastor Wayne Moore.
Always a pleasure to host with you.
It is.
It's going to be a great show today.
Yes, it is. I think we're going to hear some information that's going to really help brothers and sisters in the city of Indianapolis. We have one of, I believe, in this city at this particular season and era, Dr. Stephen J. Clay, Counselor Clay, Pastor Clay, who's going to give us some insight on the program that he's been working with, has some terrific numbers. It's going to be a great show. We have a great giant with us today.
Yeah, Operation Safe Surrender.
Yes, yes, and he's going to explain how that works. He's going to explain how all the components came together to make it happen. And really, if young people would take advantage of this, they will tremendously be blessed and not have to be stressed out about their situation as it relates to the judicial system.
Extraordinary program, as reported by the Indianapolis Recorder.
Right.
Very successful in 2016.
Right, yeah. And he's going to share those numbers with us.
Okay.
And he's going to give us everything we need to know as it relates to this program about the Safe Surrender program.
And speaking of numbers, our sponsors are increasing.
Yes.
We want to thank Attorney Nathaniel Lee of Lee and Fairman. If you need help, they can help you. Fervent Care Christian Academy.
And Stewart Mortuary.
Yeah.
They're on with us now. Make sure if you have any bereavement needs, you want to do pre-arrangements, call the Stewart Mortuary. They'll be right there to help you out.
Stay with us, and we also want to encourage you to go to our YouTube channel, subscribe. You can watch this show when it's over. You can also watch other shows that you might have missed. Please go to Facebook and like us on Facebook. We love our friends.
Yes, we do. And they make it possible for us.
Absolutely.
So please watch. Keep watching and supporting.
We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices. I'm your host, James Jackson.
I'm your co-host, Pastor Wayne Moore.
And we're joined today by Pastor and Councilman, Dr. Stephen J. Clay.
Gentlemen, pleasure to be here with both of you.
Likewise.
Good to see you, my friend. We usually, man, it's so good to see you.
Glad to be here.
Yeah.
Before we get started here, certainly I want to commend you on the work that you're doing and God's hand on you. We talked about in some of the other shows, the 7 areas of societal influence. Government certainly is one of those, and it's very, very important. And as far as I'm concerned, you're gifted for government.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. It is a pleasure and a privilege to be here with you preachers and prophets that bring great gifts to the body of Christ. So I'm honored to be here today.
Thank you.
Tell us what's going on, Councilman.
I'm excited to again announce Operation Safe Surrender. It's going to take place August the 17th, the 18th, and the 19th at Messiah Baptist Church, located 5640 East 38th Street between Emerson and Arlington on the city's east side. Operation Safe Surrender is an opportunity that is provided for individuals who are residents of Marion County. And I want to try to make that perfectly clear. Adult residents of Marion County that have outstanding warrants. They are classified as level 6 warrants and D felonies that are issued out of Marion County. The participating courts are the Marion County Superior Court, Marion County Circuit Court, probations, and corrections are all participating. This really, gentlemen, is a collaboration of government with community, with church, with the church serving as host, individuals that, for example, may have missed a court date. And as such, that court has issued a body attachment or a warrant for that individual. These days, the 17th, the 18th, and 19th of August at Messiah have been set aside where the judiciary where the judges are coming into our community. And I think that's great. And it creates an opportunity for individuals that have issues, outstanding warrants. For example, if you have an issue with child support, say, for example, you're behind on child support, you didn't appear for your last court date, you haven't paid in a while, the court has issued a warrant for you. This is an opportunity for you to come in, have that warrant lifted, and have the date reset. So it's almost kind of like a resetting for your judiciary obligation. So whether you're in, even the traffic court will be a part of this. So individuals that are driving dirty, driving suspended because you failed to pay, failed to appear, and now you're driving dirty, this is an opportunity to come in, get the warrant lifted, get the court date reset, and then go into court and handle your business. Because you and I both know, all of us know, that if an officer stops you and there's a warrant, you're going to jail. Right. On these other warrants, they're going to eventually do a warrant sweep. And why bring your family unnecessarily into those kinds of situations? So it's good for our community. It's good for public safety, it's good for public relations, and it's an opportunity that our community should not miss at all. August the 17th, the 18th, and 19th, Messiah Baptist Church. The hours.
That's what we need.
The hours on Thursday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. On Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. So we're making it available. We've had great success with this. This is our third year doing this. We first did this when it was a federal program, and it was called Fugitive Safe Surrender, and it was being done across the country, spearheaded by U.S. Marshals. And they asked us then if we would host it at Messiah. And we graciously consented to do so. It was a tremendous success over a 3-day period. When I became an elected official, I thought that we could do this locally. We had worked intricately enough with the national program that I thought we could pull the players together, and we've been able to do that. And it takes a lot of players.
Yes.
We have many city agencies, community corrections, public defenders, Marion County Prosecutor's Office, all the judges and their branches are represented as a part of this. The Sheriff's Department, IMPD, the iTech side of this, because you got to have that technology in place. So all the components that are necessary will be there. The good thing about this, Pastor Jackson, is it takes place in a church that takes some of the intimidation, hesitation, reservation away from the individual, because it is our desire to treat these clients like guests. And so our hospitality ministry, in concert with participating churches, including the Baptist Ministers Alliance, Dr. Moore, will be there to help with hospitality, to help with counseling. We'll have coffee and donuts. We will receive them into the house of God, allow them to come in and handle their business. The other thing that I'm excited to talk about is the social service piece of this, that individuals that need those kind of wraparound services, we will have those available on the campus as well. So I'm excited to come in here today to talk about it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. I think that's great. And I think realizing that when we come back, we're going to let Dr. Clay also tell us about the idea of you don't have a need to be afraid of being arrested or anything like that. It's really not about that. It's about getting the community the help that it needs.
Yeah, because you might have folks who are watching who perhaps they're not in trouble, but they know people.
Right, in their families.
In their family who's in trouble. And have you seen that, before we go to break, Dr. Clay, have you seen where people who are a little ambivalent about coming in?
Indeed, indeed. In fact, the reason why we extended the hours on the front end, because we know there is some reservation that people have with respect to this. They think it's a sting. It is not a sting.
No.
So once the word gets out, hey, I went in there and I got out, I handled my business. Whew. In fact, we changed the format a little bit because we had social services on the back end. This time we're putting them on the front end, because when we had it the other way, they were so glad to get out of court, they wasn't trying to do social services or nothing else. They were trying to get out that door because they was happy. They was happy to be a part of it.
Use some wisdom there.
Yeah, exactly.
We got to go to break, and when we come back, we'll have more about Operation Safe Surrender. So during the break, let people know. Text them, Facebook them, Instagram them. Let them know that if they have a problem, if they have a warrant, here's an opportunity for them to get some help coming up very, very soon. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices. I'm your host, James Jackson.
Co-host Pastor Wayne Moore.
And I want to jump right into this. Certainly want to thank attorney Nathaniel Lee and Fairman, for being part of our sponsors, Fervent Care Christian Academy.
And Stuart Mortuary, who does a great job in our city handling our community's bereavement needs.
And your final arrangements.
Yes. All you got to do is give them a call.
Yeah.
We can get that going.
So, Dr. Clay,
Yes, sir.
some of the metrics from last year, as I indicated at the top of the program, the Indianapolis Recorder did a story and they indicated very, very successful.
Indeed. Over a 3-day period, as I recall, last year, we had over 380 some odd people come through the doors over a 3-day period. Of those that were taken into custody was less than 25 people, because there are those situations that are outside the target group. And we just want to be clear about that if you are a level 6 or a D felon and you have an outstanding warrant and it's from Marion County, then this is a great opportunity for you to come in and address that. If you are a murderer, a robber, this is probably not the time in which you want to come in, because you will surely go to jail.
But they can turn themselves
But they
in.
can turn themselves in,
That's a
but they
good
need,
place
and that
to do it.
happened. I'm glad you said that, because that happened. There were people, at least one or two that I'm aware of, that knew that they had a warrant. They knew they were outside the scope of this particular initiative, and they wanted to handle the situation, and they came in and they turned themselves in. And one of the good things about this is that it is done with dignity, and it's done with honor, and it's done with respect. We have clergy that are there in that processing room should that happen to take place, and so it is very smooth, and they do it with a great deal of discretion, so you're not going to go through what they call the perp walk and be humiliated in front of family and friends and other people that may be on the campus that day. So over 380 people over a 3-day period came in. Less than 30 were detained. Those are good numbers anywhere, and so we're excited this year because we have some media sponsors that are going to help get the information out. So we're hoping and praying, really, that those individuals who live inside Indianapolis, Marion County, who have outstanding warrants, and if you're not sure that you have an outstanding warrant, you can go to mycase.indy.gov. Again, that's mycase.indy.gov, and find out if you have a warrant. And if you do, then and it falls as a level 6 and a D felony, then you come right on in, get that issue heard, get it addressed, get the court date reset. It's a great opportunity to take advantage of. On again, August the 17th, the 18th, and 19th, Messiah Baptist Church, 5640 East 38th Street.
Yeah, I chuckled a little bit because I saw the marketing director going to his phone to check to see if he had a warrant.
Is he going to tell us before we go off here?
We might be able to help him right here.
Exactly. But Dr. Clay, in all seriousness, you need to be commended for this. I haven't seen any other, as of right now, any other counselor, and we have some great counselors, don't misunderstand me, out in the community like you are at the grassroots level, trying to stabilize the system of warrants through this program. Because, as you know, our city, when people are frantic when they get stopped by law enforcement these days. And if we can prevent them getting stopped by looking at Operation Safe Surrender, that will take a lot of undue stress off of some people in our community.
I appreciate that, because, pastors, this is a win-win for our community. It helps law enforcement so they don't have to do what they classify as a hard knock. It helps the individual to accept the responsibility for any error or transgression they may have committed, and then it gives the church an opportunity to again mirror and mimic and model what ministry really is supposed to be about. And it is a collaboration which includes the mayor's office and all aspects of city government. You can't do this unless all the players are willing to come to the table. So to the extent that the judiciary graciously consented to be a part of this, that's major because people work within silos and within their own comfort zones. And so for everyone to make the shift and to come out into the community, I think speaks of the heart really of what's going on in the city, despite other things that we know are real.
Right.
But this is a window where many are saying, let me do a little bit something, and we're glad about that.
Yeah. And Dr. Clay, what have you seen in the couple of years that you've been doing this? There has to be something that when you see these families coming in, you're looking into the faces of the people who come through the doors. What is your reaction?
Well, it's kind of like church, Pastor, in that you see people come in the building in one mood and then go out of the building in another mood. Mm-hmm. You see them coming in with the cares and the weight of the world on their shoulder, knowing that they have warrants and they have unresolved issues with the court, and they feel the weight of that. And then they come in and they're able to get processed. They're able to be heard by a judge, and then have that warrant lifted and have another court date set. Some of the residuals of this is that people find out about it after it's over and they want to know, a month later, can I still participate in Operation Safe Surrender? We try to refer them at that point. But to your point, the expression of being relieved, to know I'm not driving dirty, because the bulk of these are driving while suspended, failure to appear, child support. And so that's why we want to do everything we can to try to get the word out that August the 17th, the 18th, and 19th at Messiah Baptist Church, 5640 East 38th Street is really where you want to be for Operation Safe Surrender.
All right.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great opportunity for our community. I want to thank you personally for allowing me, myself, and our organization, Baptist Ministers Alliance, for participating in this. I think we're going to have a great time. We're going to help a lot of brothers and sisters in the community realize that there's help and realize that there's some wraparound services that can help them and push them up the road a little further than they are right now.
Right. And Dr. Clay, do you see this expanding in other parts of the city in the future?
I would hope so. We have had some calls, at least two that I'm aware of, from other cities outside the state of Indiana that wanted to know about the nuts and the bolts of it. So we know that it's getting traction, and we know that it is a good program, and we're glad to be a part of it. And we don't do it without partnership. You can't do it without partnership.
All right. So stay with us right here on Real People, Real Voices. Also, we want to thank our sponsors.
Yes. Lee and Fairman and the Fervent Care Christian Academy.
Yeah.
And
Stuart Mortuary for your final arrangements.
Yeah.
Or if it's already happened.
yeah, they'll be there for you.
They'll be there for you. So for those of you who are watching, certainly we thank you for watching. We have a little bit more in the rundown, so you certainly want to stay with us. We also want to encourage you to go to YouTube and subscribe to WHMB TV 40. You can watch this show over again, and I encourage you to share it, because before August 17th, 18th, and 19th, there's a lot of people, thousands of people, who could benefit from the resources that will be taking place at the Messiah Missionary Baptist Church. Also, like us on Facebook. There's a lot of information there I think that you will like there on Facebook as well. Stay tuned. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices. I'm your host, James Jackson.
Your co-host, Pastor Wayne Moore.
Marketing Director Curtis Baker for Real People, Real Voices. I love this show. You know, they were teasing me earlier because, you know, normally in this seat, Faith McKinney, which is on hiatus at the moment. She found another career, but she'll be back.
Yeah.
You guys are telling me, Faith, don't come back so soon. I'm having a good time here. No, but I appreciate the fact that she lets me sit in her stay, and you guys allow me to be here to do the rundown.
Yeah.
And my aunt in Kokomo appreciates it as well.
Go ahead and tell us your aunt's name.
She might be watching.
Aunt Jeanette in Kokomo, Indiana. I think
All
she's
right.
like 85 or 86, and
Wow.
she just loves real people, real voices.
Wow.
So you got us a fan.
Dr. Stephen J. Clay, I think he has become and is becoming one of our premier city county councilors. I think God has a hold of him as it relates to government. I think that he's going to, with this program that he's going to bring to us in August, again, for the third year, I believe it is, it's going to be just phenomenal. Each year it gets better. It gets better and better. And he's adding a lot of structure to it. And I want the community to know that this man is on point as it relates to helping our community be strong and understand its role. And he needs to be commended for that.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that people will see this and tell their friends about it.
Oh, I mean, I was sitting over listening, and you know, I think everyone is touched by that. Relatives, you may know someone,
Right.
but the program is a great opportunity to, in a dignified way. You know, you realize there's so many people out there riding around with suspended driver's license. Just that alone.
And child support issues.
Yeah.
You know,
And may not know.
And may not
Right.
know
That they have a warrant.
Didn't know. I'm okay.
You were checking?
I checked. No, I wouldn't have. Of course not. But I did check.
But you never know. I mean, with all the identity.
Yeah, identity.
that-
And actually, that happened to me once.
Well, I had an employee.
Yeah, that actually happened to me.
who he had someone who told the police officers that he was
With
him.
somebody. Yep.
And it took him a month
To get out of that.
to get
Yep.
out of that. And he had a warrant and all that.
It happened to me. I was stopped in Jefferson, Indiana, by a police officer, state police officer. Oh, you have a warrant for your arrest. I'm like, what? No, I don't. And someone who was in an accident, hit and run or whatever, and I don't know how they get my ID and Social Security, but my license was suspended, and I did not know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People
And
lie
it took
say,
me
yeah.
it took me several, I had to get an attorney to get
I tell
out
you
of
one thing that I like about this is that people can actually go to the church.
it. Absolutely.
You know,
Safe
people
place.
always talk about what the church
Churches.
isn't doing.
Right.
Church.
And Dr. Clay brings this program to the church.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be great.
And it's a multi-pronged effort
Right. Yeah.
by city government.
Judicial, all over.
Yeah. So certainly want to make sure that those of you who are in our viewing audience know all about the program and that you can benefit from it. We certainly appreciate you being here with us today. Be sure to go to WHMB TV 40 and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also like us on Facebook. Thanks for being with us today. We'll see you next time.
God bless you.